If the people who watch the videos, they get a little bit more of the big sexy on their video. They can see my shoulders and my chest and this A shirt, and I'm fine.
Sitting here thinking to myself, "Oh, this could be so easy. These Canadians are going to jump right on board. They love hockey. They
love hockey. Canadians love hockey."
Pulls me aside and he's like, "Jacob and I have ordered a bottle of Jameson, and we're going to need your help with it."
Which, if you're listening to this, you're like, I've never seen any of the bonus videos. Where can I go see those? Swing on over to our Patreon page at bullwiththebutthole.com, where you can actually sign up as a member for free. Yeah, Tinder touch services. That sounds like mutual masturbation. I need to start putting our picture up. I'm gonna get some fun photos of us and put those up on the site as well, so people can put our faces on their chest or on their pillow, so they can sleep with us at night.
Yeah, girl.
What kind of weirdo digital nomads from cruise ships? Well, when I'm not being hypnotized by Judgmentalist or serenaded with custom parodies by Big Sexy, I'm thinking about, talking about, and writing about cruising. Check out ship tours, cruise tips, and even join us on a group cruise by visiting cruisehabit.com/BSDN. Come talk ship with us. Again, that's cruisehabit.com/BSDN. Thanks for listening. Safe travels.
What up, sexy world travelers? It's your boy, Big Sexy, here with a big thank you to our big, sexy world travelers. They're the folks who went over to bullwiththebutthole.com and subscribe to the podcast. I want to say a big shout out to Billy with cruisehabit.com, Lee Popsicle, Margaret White, Angel Quo, Bree, Chris Lowry, Dylan Diggs, Jesus, Joshua Tarr, Michael McKenna, Sebastian Robbins, and Smitty Scoop. If you would like to have your name read out before the show, just become a big, sexy world traveler and subscribe to the podcast. Swing on over to bullwiththebutthole.com and join the fun. Safe travels.
Hey, what's going on out there? I hope most of you are in a warmer place than I am. It's Judgmentalist coming at you with another episode of Big Sexy Digital Nomad. Here I am counting the days and almost the hours until I get myself into slightly, but certainly warmer weather, heading out to Las Vegas, Nevada in a little over a day from the time that this is dropping. Let's see what Big Sexy's doing with his tank top on. Here he is.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Whenever this is hitting your ear holes, I hope that it's good. It has been hot and rainy here, so it's the humidity is really high, and I've been sweating out t-shirts left and right. So I said I'm throwing on a tank top. I was gonna put on a regular shirt, and I'm like, fuck it, who cares? If the people who watch the videos, they get a little bit more of the big sexy on their video. They can see my shoulders and my chest and this A shirt, and I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it. You, on the other hand, are layered.
Yeah, and not enough, but I am indoors. It's like, I think last I checked was like 17 Fahrenheit here.
Ooh, that's right. Last time I
21
checked,
now. It's been a few hours since I looked, and it is currently. Now, keep in mind, it's before noon there, so probably not the hottest it is going to get all day, but not entirely. It's 52 Fahrenheit. My app says it feels like 58, which is cold.
They've been cold in Vegas recently. Just for clarification, just for a full picture, right now in Playa del Carmen, it's 74 degrees with 77% humidity.
Yeah, I also, in the intro, I misspoke. It I'm going to be home by the time this episode drops.
I was going to say, you said, by the time this episode drops, you're already be back
yeah,
in the
I'm already back. So
we will have tales of your Vegas excursion to relay
on the next episode. Yeah, and it should be good because I just oh man, I am learning a lot. Let's put it that way. So listeners who have been here since the beginning will likely remember a couple years back a time that I was in Vegas and I secured a suite to one of the Golden Knights playoff games and invited a bunch of the folks that we mutually know, most of them.
All of them. I knew pretty much everybody that was in your suite.
The only guy you might not have known was like my agent partner for the NFL because that was
the one guy I know is the only one who isn't in Vegas.
Everybody else most likely. And that was a situation where the night that game was conveniently fell on a night that Mystere was dark, Mad Apple was dark, a bunch of other stuff was dark. This game, I've got another one coming, and I got an amazing deal on it because we are fairly last minute. And my assumption is they have not moved the suites. So I had inquired, I guess last week, maybe early this week, hey, I'm looking into this. I might be trying to put a group together. I'm not quite sure. And I get an email back with the price. I'm like, okay, that sounds good. Let me see who I can wrangle up, who's interested, because generally when you get one of these, you get 16, 18, 20 some seats. And you don't want if every seat is used, it's an amazing deal because it's fully catered, food and beverage, alcohol, non-alcohol, and everything like that. So I had put out a post in one of the groups for the Performing Hypnosis Summit about if there was any sort of interest, because I was going to try to pull from there because I knew that I wasn't going to, I'm not even bothering to ask like RJ and Jimmy and guys like that, because I know they've got shows. It's a Sunday. None of the major shows that are dark. So everybody's got obligations.
Right. Although Donnelly might be free.
Donnelly's free. I did check in with him today because of the update. So I thought this thing was dead in the water because I didn't get the response I was expecting. And the reason I was expecting to get a response is because one thing that a lot of people might not know listening here about hypnosis and specifically entertainment hypnosis is that there are a lot of Canadians who are hypnotists, or a lot of the performing hypnotists happen to be Canadians. And I would guess that probably about a third of the people attending this conference are Canadian. And I'm sitting here thinking to myself, oh, this is going to be so easy. These Canadians are going to jump right on board. They love hockey. They
love hockey. Canadians love hockey.
Some Canadians and other countries that are also very hockey centric learn to skate before they learn to walk. Not everybody, but some. Crickets, no response.
Interesting.
A couple of people that I'm like becoming good friends with individually who are like, yeah, I'd be interested in that. Let me know the details. So I got a couple of people, but you want to make sure that you're filling the suite if you're going to do something like this. And I get an email today from the representative, the salesperson, and it's like, oh, hey, we can drop the required number of tickets and therefore drop the price.
Oh, nice.
But if you were to tell me that you were going to fill that suite to the maximum, we'd be able to add those tickets at no cost. The price dropped almost in half. And then
you were fine with the price, what it was.
I was okay with the price. And of course, this is all going to get, split up and everything.
Of course.
So, it's all about the price per person. And is it reasonable? Well, now it's beyond reasonable. And I'm like, all right, let me circle back around because I didn't get the response that I thought I was going to get the first time through. Let me change the circle, because the original circle was only to the hypnotists. I didn't even start because like what I would have done, I would have, if I had gotten about half of the suite from the hypnotist, then I would have started circling around. I would have confirmed it, locked it up, circled around. So then I start asking and I'm starting to get responses. And then I get an email back being like, hey, I'm starting to get responses, highly interested. I will keep you posted. I should have an answer for you by this time tomorrow. This was a couple of hours.
Somebody else is also circling wagons and inquiring with other people.
What do you mean?
Well, you said that somebody else sent an email.
I started asking within other circles. So now I opened. That's when I asked Matt. That's when I started reaching out to some other people that were there the first time. I've got a couple players who I represent who play for the Raiders. I've now reached out to them, and so the ticket rec.
Oh, I see. You were the one with the email.
I expanded the circle. Yes.
Got it. Okay.
I let the rep know, hey, give me this is exactly what I said. Give me a little bit. I could probably make this work. Very interested. Should be able to get things sorted by this time tomorrow. Also, another body. My wife decided that she's going to come with me to the trip, which is not that she wants to come with me on this trip because I'm going to be in the conference for most days. She's going to be sitting in a hotel room. I am convinced that 90% of her motivation to come is because it's 20 degrees here and at least 60 degrees there. And I don't blame her at all.
Not one tiny bit. Get the fuck out the cold.
So 19 minutes after I sent the very interested should be able to get things sorted by this time tomorrow, the response I get is, I am out tomorrow. I am expecting, so I have some doctor's appointments. Oh, I totally missed that because I might have been driving while reading and responding to this email. I deny any allegations as such. If we can get this done by end of day, I will throw in black retro jerseys for the whole suite.
Get the fuck out.
The jerseys probably cost more than what the per person price is right now. And at that point in time, I had enough people that had expressed some interest that I almost immediately responded. No, it wasn't immediate. I didn't see it immediately. So it was a good 20 minutes till I responded. And I was like, hey, let's do it. Of course, they had my payment information on file from previous times.
Yeah.
So
we got you on lock.
We were good to go. I didn't have to do anything. So that should be fun. I'm interested to see what mixing of people end up being involved in it. But it should be a good time.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
I mean, everything was going to be good with or without that. This just adds more to it.
Did you get many Canadians?
So here's what I've done. A couple of the people that are coming, I've started reaching out to people individually and picking off people that I would want to be there. Like there's nobody that I don't want there. But I put it out very generally and very broad to see what kind of interest there would be. And like I said, got crickets. So as I reached out to people, I'm selectively reaching out to people individually. And then when I get there, I now have enough people that are in that when I get there, I'll start talking to people as I see them to add to the ranks. I also have a bunch of people that I've asked that haven't gotten back to me. So I can't broaden it too much until I get yeses or nos from some of the other folks that I've asked. So
nice.
Well,
that should be amazing. That's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait to hear.
It was a nice bonus for them to kick in. And now I'm sitting here kicking myself because if you remember the story from the last time, Matt comes up to me in the suite, all serious, like he accidentally was parking outside and ran over my dog. Serious, pulls me aside and he's like, Jacob and I have ordered a bottle of Jameson, and we're gonna need your help with it. like literally like he was telling me when funeral arrangements for somebody was going to be serious. And I was like, oh, you don't need to ask. And literally midway through the second period, we had killed that bottle. I'm like, oh, you and I'm holding that empty bottle up and shaking it in front of him. being like, you had questions about whether we could knock this thing off or what, buddy?
Shame on you. Of course you can.
So I now am kicking myself, and this is all an affect of me allegedly being in the car responding to this email. I really should have responded back to that, being like, if you can also kick in a bottle of Jameson. Maybe that didn't happen because part of me
might still be able to do so. Especially,
part of me is also hoping that maybe they don't even that the Jameson conversation doesn't come up this time, because that was a very nothing bad happened, but that was a very
you were lit.
Very
you got lit.
Yeah.
Like you do.
I mean, I wasn't out of hand or anything, but
no, but you did get into your cups.
Sure did. I got a little further along the intoxication line than I probably would have wanted to be, being around colleagues. So
yeah,
maybe we do, maybe we don't get into that. I don't know. We'll talk about it next week for sure.
We'll find out next week. I tell you, you mentioned having so many Canadians who are hypnotists and performance hypnotists in your area. There's something going on in the world that Canadians are suddenly in, apparently not both of our lives. There's something happening, and I don't know if it's the political unrest in Canada, but like there are a bunch of Canadians here in Mexico.
Interesting.
And a lot of them are in my circles. Like I meet a lot of Canadians. I thought for sure I would meet many more folk from the States. And I met quite a bunch from the States. But man, are there a lot of Canadians. People go, oh, where are you from? I'm Toronto. Holy shit, another Canadian. And I don't get me wrong, I love Canadians. I love, hanging out with them. They're really nice. All the Canadian stereotypes come into play. It's hilarious. And it's been fascinating, to say the least.
Yeah, because they're dealing with, my understanding is similar kind of, let's call it a revolution.
That's a nice word for it.
Ideology, as we are. And I'm wondering, this is, we don't do this enough. And Paul Mattingly's not on our podcast. So I guess there's no reason for us to have kind of like transition music into conspiracy theory land. But if we did, it would play here. The puppet master that we assume is pulling some strings to create some of this unrest is a guy who, quote, wins elections.
That's not quite conspiracy. That's more like
no. That's drama. Like we're
That's conspiracy to see that booty naked.
That's right. We're getting down to it with that one. But the person who we all believe to be pulling the strings is the puppet master that's creating some of this unrest and revolution and otherwise, has a track record of, quote, winning elections in ways that seem as if there was no real choice, and that maybe there's some creative counting of ballots or some influence or otherwise in a land that's probably even colder than where I am right now. And I'm wondering, is the fix in? Like, I don't want to be the one sitting here saying, hey, this might be rigged, but like the last thing I think of when I think of Canada, I think that their far right is further left than our left in the States. So it seems preposterous to me that somebody that's in this fringe would have any sort of popularity up there.
Right.
Without things being fixed. That's all the further I'm going to go with it. I am not knowledgeable. I am not actually proposing any sort of conspiracy or conspiracy theory because, quite frankly, I don't know enough. And I see enough of shit that people share where they're clearly not knowledgeable, but they're just this I will share this piece of supposition because it supports what I want to think, so it must be true. I'm not getting into that realm, but it definitely seems odd.
This has been Big Sexy Digital Nomad Conspiracy.
What's this one sound like?
Daydreaming. Takes too long for the drop to come in.
Yeah, it's not great, but I think it's closer to eerie conspiracy theory than the other one.
Kinda. Well, but look, I like having a sexy conspiracy.
Yeah.
You know? This might be.
Yeah.
That's closer.
Yeah, the truth is out there, man.
The truth is out there. What is happening in the world? Who's in control? Who knows what things are happening? Big Sexy Digital Nomad gets to the bottom of it. We will get into your conspiracy. Random.
Yeah,
I'm not I know zilch and zero about Canadian politics at all. I know nothing at all. And it's funny because, everybody was so mad at Justin Trudeau or whatever. And all I know of Justin Trudeau is having seen him on like Colbert, and he seemed like a pretty okay dude. Sounded like he was talking. He might talk a good game, but apparently his policies weren't matching up to what his mouth was saying. And a lot can be said about being an attractive white man. That you get away with a lot of shit and people don't really worry about what you're saying because, you're pretty. I'm sure he has some of that going for him. It's kind of like Macron over in France. And not everybody's happy with his politics and his decision, but, he's a handsome cat with his open shirt chest hair. And his sexy ass French name, Macron. Yeah, but we don't really do a whole lot of politics here in Big Sexy. Man, I'm trying. It does affect us. Like we do get affected by it. But I
have every intention. I don't want to spoil a bit here, but I know that I will do the thing that I am saying that I'm going to do before this episode airs. So I'm gonna kind of couch this in here. My plan, all of this subject to change, but my plan is to go and record with our boys at Two Characters in the Cloud next week.
Nice.
And assuming that they don't get into it on the episode that will drop here shortly, one of the first things I plan to do is let them know, and this is not me letting them know, but acknowledge the fact that America is great again, and that we have a new president, and that a lot of times when people get into politics, by the time they get out of politics, their net worth has skyrocketed. And my hope is to start a discussion with the boys at Two Characters in the Clown about the net worth of our now current president. And I'm sure they'll understand, and listeners of Two Characters in the Clown will probably know where I'm going with it. But the very first time that I appeared on Two Characters in the Clown, randomly and out of nowhere, Suzanne Summers came up as the topic of conversation. And specifically, we started talking about her net worth. And I want to say she passed away 2-3 days after that episode dropped. So I don't know. I don't know. Coincidence, of course. Coincidence. If it's anything more than a coincidence, people start throwing around words like premeditated with respect to me anticipating having this conversation.
You're just gonna have a conversation. You're just talking about it. It's just a topic of conversation.
Why would we not want to know more about the net worth of a person who flaunts the fact that he's so damn rich?
Wealthy, right? And who is formed his own oligarchy. Like America is an oligarchy now, and there were multiple billionaires, all the most richest men in the world were standing behind the most powerful man, quote unquote, the powerful man in the world. So, I mean, it's a discussion to be had, is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
it's a topic of conversation.
I think people that I mean, he's also a former reality TV show host, star, whatever he was, an entertainer, if you will, and that podcast is all about entertainment. So I think it's super relevant.
It's very relevant. I tell you, it'll be interesting to watch how that kind of affects travel with Mexico, because we were hoping to get back before yesterday or the Monday.
Yeah,
but we're going back at the end of this month, so we'll see what that does for our, as Americans, travel arrangements here in Mexico. We're like, come on, leave Mexico alone so we can just come down here and do what we want to do, please. But speaking of intentions and, talking about things, I have noticed, and it tends to be common but more so here in Playa, that when I talk about somebody or something, usually when I talk about somebody, within 48 hours, I will see that person.
Oh.
And it could be somebody I haven't seen in a while. And that's usually why I end up talking about them. Oh, have you seen so-and-so in a while? No, I haven't. The next day I will run into them walking down Fifth Street. And that's happened like a lot. I mean, not a lot to be noticeable. And so I started joking that I need to start talking about money.
Yeah.
Man, you know what I haven't seen in a while? I haven't seen $1,000 come my way in a long time. Well, wasn't that much, but Saturday, I saw a post in one of the WhatsApp groups that they were holding an audition on Sunday for something called Work and Chill. And they were looking for poets and singers and performers to audition for this Black History Month event here in Playa with this company. Well, I'm all three of those things. And I said, well, let me go ahead and submit. And when you fill out the form, you got to send them, a video or footage of you doing your talents. And so the most recent one that I had was the poem that I did closed, that I did after the George Floyd murders 2 years ago, 3 years ago, however long ago that was.
That was like pandemic times.
Oh yeah, that's like 4 or 5 years ago now.
We're coming up on 5. Yeah, crazy.
Jeez Louise, time is stupid. So I submitted. They called
May of 2020.
Wow, yeah, that's crazy. They messaged me and said, "Hey, we're gonna have you audition the following week. However, we really like the piece you sent us. Can you come in Monday morning and record it? We'll do a pre-recording for a Black History Month event, and your piece will be perfect for it, and you'll be compensated."
Oh.
So I was planning to audition, and I ended up booking a gig and getting paid for it.
Beautiful.
And I've been really like, oh man, I need money. I need this. I want to do this. I'm working on the businesses, as you know. I talked about last episode, the cuddle business, the coaching business. I want to build the podcast up as well. Well, the steps that I'm looking for is I need to purchase domain names for the different sites that I need to create. And I realized I needed to create 3 different sites. So I need 3 different domain names. And I've been wondering when and how I was going to be able to pay for it. And then I booked the gig.
Fantastic.
Oh, Oh, well, thank you, universe. I guess if I put these intentions out there, they really show up here, and I love that about Playa. I love that about here. Like I love that type of synergy and energy. I was wondering about like I needed a new place for improv to the improv workshops. Well, this last improv workshop, two people came and like, you want to just have it at our place? We have plenty of space and it's inside and worry about the weather. The lights are great. I'm like, yeah, well, perfect. We'll do the next one there. And they live close by because I wanted it to be close. The restaurant that I was going to work with is still kind of far away. And especially with the weather being, it's been raining the past 3 days here. And it's been really night rains. Like the day is all nice and sunny and beautiful. And then like right around 8 or 9 o'clock at night, it starts storming. And it'll storm until like midnight or 1 o'clock. Like it'll rain like all fucking night long. And twice now I've been caught out. Because I go out and I do shit. And twice now I've been caught out in this wetness. So it'd be nice to have a new spot that I don't have to worry that if it does rain, I'm home quicker.
That's cool.
I'm not out getting soaked as often. So yeah, man, shout out to John and Dea who offered me a spot to do the improv, and they will be a guest on the podcast soon. I'm going to set up a day and time to record them. They're actually they're from Seattle, but met in Vegas, or they met in Seattle, moved to Vegas. They were just in Vegas before they came to Mexico.
Oh, cool. And
it was very interesting because John kept going, Big Sexy. I know I've seen that name when I was in Vegas. And I said, well, I was all over the place. So if you were in, and Dea does pole, right? She does pole dancing and stuff like that. And so she's definitely been to Pole Fitness Studio. And I know my name is in there because there's stickers of Big Sexy Digital Nomad in there and the certificate and photos.
Oh, those are probably old school before the judgmentalist days.
Yeah. That was the almost.
I have a stack of updated ones that are going with me, and my intention is to bring none of them back.
That's smart. I think I have stacks waiting for me at my mom's house, so I can bring them back to Mexico with me, and I intend to get rid of them all, like I do. They make great calling cards, man. They're great. Instead of a business card, having a sticker is wonderful. It's just fabulous. And I miss not having something to hand people when they start asking me about my podcast.
Yeah.
People ask and know about the podcast. And everybody I meet, I invite to be on the podcast. I got to start chasing down those interviews. That's the other hard part of this particular quote unquote job, is that, okay, I got to stay on. And if I invite people to the podcast, I'll show the camera, although, it means you gotta subscribe to the podcast. No, you don't. You can just check us on YouTube. Go to our YouTube channel. You can see the video. But I have these right here. As you can see, if I can show it correctly, these right here are all names of people that I have asked to be on the podcast, and I gotta chase them down and put them in the calendar. But a part of me is like, well, I need to hold up. The good news is I have enough interviews. We're scheduled until I think the second week of February. So we got enough interviews.
You've already recorded.
So already recorded, edited, and in the can. So our Patreon members already know. They've already seen them because as soon as I put it in the YouTube, I throw it in our Patreon and it goes up immediately to our members. So our members, if you're going via our Patreon for scheduling, I apologize. You're getting so much shit either out of order, because as soon as I got the video up, whatever. Even when I schedule it in YouTube, well, in YouTube it's unlisted. All the bonus episodes are unlisted, so the bonus episodes don't show up on our YouTube channel. It's just us. It's just our pretty faces. And anytime we have a guest on the regular episode, that video goes up on YouTube. But otherwise, all the bonus episodes are unlisted and only accessible to members of our Patreon, which, if you're listening to this, you're like, I've never seen any of the bonus videos. Where can I go see those? Well, you can swing on over to our Patreon page at bullwiththebutthole.com, where you can actually sign up as a member for free. You can join the community. Of course, we'd appreciate it if you join on a paid tier and help support the podcast. That would be wonderful. That'd be great. We'd appreciate all that. Just go to bullwithabutthole.com. If you're nervous about typing the word butthole in your URL search, I get it. I understand. Then just go to www.patreon.com/bigsexydigitalnomad, and that'll take you to the same place. And who knows, I might get on a spur up my butt as I'm purchasing all these other domain names, and I might throw one more fun name to send to the Patreon. I don't know what that would be, but we'll see. Because it had to happen organically, like the bull with the butthole happened organically. If you don't know the story, I was in Spain and Torremolinos. There's a bull that has an articulated butthole carved into it. I talked about it on an episode of the podcast. My co-host lovingly went over to buy the domain bullwiththebutthole.com, and that's what sent that over, right? So yeah, and I love our URL. I love we have catchy URLs. Like I love the URL for our merch. Right?
Yeah.
The URL for merch is whereisbigsexy.com. That was a great one. I love the way you come up with these. It's so wonderful. But whereisbigsexy.com, and that's where you're putting on clothes. Why? Because you're buying clothes in the merch store.
And if you're sitting in the region of the country like I mean, hell, even down to Louisiana, they're getting blizzards. You probably need some more clothes. So order them up.
Yeah, you can get. I don't know if you can get hoodies on there, but you can definitely get sweatshirts and thicker shirts and stuff like that. So, or get yourself a coffee mug to have some of that hot cocoa with Big Sexy right on the mug, or Judgmentalist right on the mug. Get cute. Buy a whole set. Buy one of Judgmentalist as a cheap hooker, Big Sexy as a hoodies. Oh, good. There are hoodies. Yeah, I thought there were hoodies. Get yourself an old-fashioned baseball tee.
Or a baseball hat.
Yeah.
Sticker. A mug,
and
you already mentioned.
The initials because Big Sexy Digital Nomad has a lot to write, but we do have the initials in our logo font, the BSDN. You can get that as well. And people ask you, what the hell is BSDN? And you can say it's Big Sexy Digital Nomad. Here, look it up. And you can, get another listener to the podcast. Spread the word. Tell people about us.
Pillows.
I need to start putting our picture up. I'm going to get some fun photos of us and put those up on the site as well so people can put our faces on their chest or on their pillow so they can sleep with us at night.
Yeah, girl.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm all about. I've been really big on the businesses and getting those up and running. Like I said, I'm still working on the name. I've been going through ChatGPT and asking them for names every day, almost every day, every other day. I go to ChatGPT and I say, give me 20 names of a cuddle service business that also does, companion and it doesn't have the word cuddle in it. And it gives me a long list, and it's like, oh, these are close. These are close. Not cuddle companion, but comfortable companion is where I'm in right now. That's the one that's locked in my brain right now. I like it, but I need to hit up. Give me 10 other words for companion.
Yeah. I'm still thinking about this. I had nothing sparked yet. But I'll come up with something.
Yeah, and it's weird because I'm usually really good at names, right? I'm good at coming up with punny names or interesting or fun names or safety names. I've helped many people, and some reason, initially I was calling Big's Hugs, and that wasn't rolling off the tongue right. And then I thought, well, let me take my name out of it because I don't want it to be centered around me particularly. It's my business. I don't want it to be predicated on how well you know me, right?
Yeah.
So let's run a test right now. Let's run a test on air. I'm going to ask Wait, hold on.
I
Let's
wasn't
even do it
expecting a
like
pop
this.
quiz.
Well, not a pop quiz.
Oh, it's a different kind of test.
I'm gonna ask Chat GPT.
Oh, okay.
Share screen.
What is it that we're asking? Oh, we're to do this on a screen share.
Yeah, I'm gonna see
Very nice.
about the name. Okay, can you see it?
It is loading.
Okay, I don't know if we have the bandwidth to
there we
do
go.
this, but we're gonna see. Okay, provide 15 names for a cuddle service business without using the word cuddle or hugs.
This should be
All
interesting.
right, let's see what Chat GPT comes up with.
Woo! That just blew by real quick.
Well, that's what it does, right? So,
yeah.
Okay, so we have Warm Embrace Company,
Yeah,
Snuggle Sanctuary,
I don't hate it.
Comfort Connection,
Okay.
Cozy Companionship.
That right there, number 4, I think insinuates a longer relationship.
Right. Where we're gonna
This is all transactional.
Yeah. Tinder touch services. That sounds like another word for mutual masturbation or something along those lines.
It definitely insinuates more than just the cuddle service. Yeah.
Right. Soft solace. I don't like that at all.
Nope.
Affectionate alliance. That sounds like a team of orgy goers.
Yeah, I can see that.
We're the affectionate alliance. Like that. I don't know why that sounds almost political in nature. Heartfelt encounters. That sounds like a line of Hallmark cards. Embrace exchange. That sounds too business-like. It's like, here, I'm going to hug you, and now you hug me. We've done an embrace exchange. Gentle gatherings. It's not bad.
That's definitely like an orgy invitation.
Yeah. Blissful bonds. That sounds like BDSM.
That's yeah.
Serene snuggles. Intimate interactions. Loving lounge.
This one sounds like a room or a building with a whole lot of couches set up that haven't been cleaned nearly enough.
That is definitely a room within a sex dungeon.
Yeah.
Compassionate companions. I do like the alliteration of that one. It's just a lot to say.
I'm not in love with any of these.
Right? That's 15 of them. Hold on. Let's keep it going. Give me 15 more.
One of my favorite things about Chat GPT is that it doesn't have any emotions. So you just typed in, give me 15 more, but you could have been a little more brutal to be like, these suck. Give me better ones. And it's not going to be mad at you. It's going to be like, oh, it might even ask, what didn't you like about them so I don't fuck up next time?
Right. The Kindred Nook, Comfort Cove, Nurturing Nest, Warmth and Wellness, Serenity Sessions, Affection Avenue, Heartwarming Haven, Embrace Emporium, Caring Corners, Tender Moments, Soulful Snugs. Snugs, really? ChatGPT? Snugs?
Well, you couldn't use snuggle.
Yeah. I didn't say that. You use snuggle other places. The Gentle Retreat. I don't mind that. I don't hate that one. I like they went from Loving Lounge to Love Lounge. Oh, you didn't like Loving Lounge? How about just a Love Lounge? Intimate spaces and peaceful encounters.
Scroll back up so I can see the middle of this list. What about Serenity Sessions at Affection Avenue. I don't hate it, but I don't think it's a winner either. Are you frozen? Did we lose Big Sexy? I think we lost Big Sexy here. It's odd because and this will be apparent for anybody who's watching the video of this, when we did the episode 3-4 weeks ago with Smitty in the trivia, when we got to the second section of that, he went to screen share because there was some visual element to it. And we got that same little swirly thing where it was loading a little longer than it should have. And I lost Big Sexy there, which is he'll be back, I'm sure. But it was that same thing that just transpired here, transpired prior to Smitty losing his connection entirely. So maybe we're learning something about the software that we're using here, and that don't screen share from it because it may really be terrible for the bandwidth and everything like that. So I am waiting to see here if we get a message or anything from Big Sexy, or if he has totally lost his connection. I will use this as an opportunity to promote an upcoming show that I have. I actually have 3 events that are fundraiser shows that are currently on the calendar in 2025. And next week, while I'm in Vegas, I'm actually doing some training for a completely different opportunity that may dynamically change the nature and location and everything with respect to some of my shows. So I'm kind of in a holding pattern on booking anything new unless I know that it's not going to conflict with what I have coming up. But I'm doing a show. All of this stuff you can see at judgmentalist.com. I've got a show that is a ticketed show that is a fundraiser. This is a Between Two Minds show for the Northeast High School Marching Band in Northeast Maryland, judgmentalist.com or betweentwominds.com. Those tickets are $20, and you get to see Bernardo's mind reading show. And this is a venue that we've performed at. This is a group that we've performed for in the past. So when that happens, when we return somewhere, we do it in a Bernardo show is almost entirely different. There are some crossover elements, but overall, like when we just did Cult Classic Brewing a couple weeks ago, his show was an overhauled version because we never, we don't want to do the same stuff that we've already done for somebody. I also do a modified version of my show now based off of kind of a hybrid of the original show and the fringe stuff and some other new routines, and I just mix it up from time to time. So if you've seen the show before, Between Two Minds, don't even worry about that. If you want to come out. You're supporting a great cause. We've got a growing list of sponsors as well, which is awesome. That makes us, it makes it capable for us to make more money for the groups that we're working with. That's February 1st. February 22nd, I am the hired entertainment at, let me find the details here. It's a banquet fundraiser for an autism, the Black and Orange Alzheimer's Foundation dinner. It's their inaugural Black and Orange dinner for the Elizabeth K. Andrews Charity Fund. That is a dinner and some other pomp and circumstance, and then I will be doing a show. They've got a decent chunk of sponsors for it, which is pretty cool. And then I'm also, when is this? The Voices of Hope Gratitude Banquet. This is another banquet fundraiser. I don't believe tickets are for sale on that yet, but the listing is on judgmentalist.com, so it will show up. And I'll change it when the tickets are available. So that is that's coming in May. I'm trying to get in touch with Big Sexy, see where he is. Otherwise, power just went out. Okay. So power is out on Big Sexy's end. So you're gonna get a short one here because I don't know. It's not that short. We're almost at 50 minutes here, although 10 minutes of it have been me rambling and talking about shows that I have coming up. But hey, judgmentalist.com. Also, I am gonna I this opportunity, which I will talk about next week, is somewhat tremendous. And if it really comes full steam to what it is, I may not be doing a whole. Oh, he's back. He is working his way back. That is awesome. But yeah, reach out to me.
I'm working my way back to you, babe.
And I just went on the soapbox about myself and nothing. And really, all I was really doing was promoting the upcoming shows that I have and letting people know that I may be venturing into a different venue space and performance space with my hypnosis, which I'll probably be able to talk about next week. And if I do so, my public ticketed shows may be drastically limited. So even though I mentioned that I have put a freeze on booking new gigs, if you are interested in having me, because if I do big time it with what I have coming up, again, to be disclosed and discussed next week, my time for public gigs will be drastically limited. So if you got something that you want to line me up for, start talking to me about it now, because I love to do them. It just might become a little bit more difficult and complicated scheduling wise, especially if they're fundraising shows. And one of the things with my fundraising site that I have set up, uniquefundraiserideas.com, that's set up for me to start adding, and I probably will, possibly even as early as this conference, definitely by the summer, adding other performers to the roster. So even if it's not an area that I'm in, even if I'm not available to do it, I have resources to get you somebody to do one of these fundraiser shows. And it's no upfront cost, no risk to the organization. So help me, help you, or help a group that you're interested in supporting. So power went out, huh?
Yeah.
Here I was getting into conspiracy theories about the episode where we had Smitty Scoop on here and everything was fine until he tried to screen share. And we had that little glitch with the circle of death. And then moments later, he got kicked out. I'm like, maybe we need to stop doing the screen share because you did a screen share, and then moments later, you got kicked out.
Moments later, the power, and not just kicked out, the power was like, bye. Although, to be fair, my neighbor across the street asked me if my power had gone out. And I was like, no, our power's still good. And they may want to bring some stuff over from their refrigerator. And we always offer friends, if your power's out and our power's up, yeah, please bring stuff over that you need protected, that you don't want to get rid of. Yeah, but and then the power went out. And the second thing about it is that it takes a while for things to register that they're gone. Like good, oh, cool. So my mic's gone because my pod track is plugged in. I don't have batteries in them. The batteries are charging. So the power went out, the mic went out. Let me just plug in my headphones. I can just plug in my headphones and I can still use the headphones. The sound will just be different. And then I went, oh no, wait. The internet's gone. If there's no power, there's no Wi-Fi. There's no internet. And so I was like, okay, then no matter what, I gotta wait for the power to come on. So then I sent you messages saying, oh, the power's out, the power's out. And then I realized, well, if I don't have internet, I don't have WhatsApp, I don't have Facebook Messenger, so everything's pending, everything's waiting to be sent until the network reconnects. And in order to switch over to my data, however you want to pronounce it, I have to turn on the airplane mode first.
Oh, okay.
And then turn off airplane mode, and then it'll search for a tower to connect and issue the roaming stuff. But by the time before I got a chance to do all that, the power came back on. So then I'm just waiting for the internet to reconnect.
Yeah.
So that happens from time to time here in good old Mexicali.
Well, I'm glad I stalled enough to get you back in here to round this thing out. But
yeah, me too. Because I mean, in my message, I was like, let's go ahead and end it. I don't know how long this is going to happen. And then it came back on. I'm like, oh, I hope it didn't end it. Well, no, he didn't end it because the message still says sending.
The message didn't get through until you were connected back on. So it was kind of like,
which is hilarious. So that's perfect.
So it worked out.
It worked out. So excited about tomorrow?
Yeah. I mean, everything other than the fact that it's not going to be as hot as it normally is out there, but hey, I'll live. It's going to be a great week. I mean, I'm super looking forward to it. I've been looking forward to it. Many of you know I've done a lot of the interviews with different presenters to help promote the conference. I just did a count of them. It looks like including doing an interview of myself, which my stage partner Bernardo was the interviewer while I talked about my talk. I did a total of 15 of those. Those are all on the Judgmentalist YouTube channel, which is very, very close to having enough followers to monetize. So if you're not following that, it's youtube.com/@psychic-ish. Please do. Yeah, there it is. All this stuff already loaded in. That's fantastic. We are just
I love StreamYard specifically for these right here.
Yeah, we are on point for this. Please subscribe to it. But like every time I do one of those interviews, I just get more and more fired up about this whole thing coming up. And it's, I went to the first in-person one last year and it was great. And I know that this one's just going to be even more over the top. More people there, more presenters, great stuff. And that's, that's the kind of stuff you see in subsequent years after something like that gets started. I'm sure that way back in the day when they first did Magic Live, it was, 100 people or something like that. Now,
when it started, I'm pretty sure it started small.
Yeah, and now they max that thing out. It sells out at like, I don't remember if it's 1,600 or 1,900 people, but it's a boatload of people. Now, right. the hypnosis world is not big enough to get something like that, but
not yet.
I mean, I could see it growing to 500 attendees. That would be wild. So something like that happens, somebody going to be calling me to say, hey, we want to get you involved in taking some responsibility with some of this stuff. And,
right.
Yeah, I'm in. I love it. I think it's great. I think it's a fantastic resource for everybody who attends. I'll support it any way that I can, even if that means doing some of the heavy lifting.
Compensate you for your time.
I'm less worried about that and more worried about.
I know you're not worried about that, but I'm going to put that in the universe. And no matter what, when they ask you to take a bigger role, they compensate you for your time.
Yeah, well, maybe. I mean, if it gets to the point where there's like, I would imagine right now this thing barely pays for itself, because the conference itself, the live registration is only like $230. So for what you get out of it and what it costs to run one of these things and to get all of the conference space and everything from the hotel, I'm sure they're barely breaking even. Let's put it that way.
Exactly. Well, I got some big things coming up. Again, I got that the audition portion of the event that I still got that coming up. I have a date for the International Toastmasters Speech Contest. The Toastmasters Speech Contest, February 22nd is the next contest. I don't know where or what time, but I know the date.
Oh, awesome.
So I have a deadline of when I have to be finished with my level 1 and level 2. So I'm working on scheduling a lot of places to speak to get those projects done in a quick enough time to register that I'm finished with my level 2 in Toastmasters so that I'm eligible to be in the contest come February 22nd.
Well, we're going to be busy on February 22nd because, as I mentioned earlier, that's when I'm doing I'm performing just the hypnosis show at a Alzheimer's fundraiser banquet.
Oh, nice. So we'll both be busy on February 22nd. So whatever recording day we do after that, we're both going to have some amazing stories to tell.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll be telling about how I won the next contest and when I got to prepare for the next phase. And
is there a point in this progression, and maybe you don't know because you don't even know the venue for the place that you're doing this at next, are they going to give you a fucking crown eventually?
I don't know if they give a crown, but I know they definitely give plaques. And I think that each plaque gets better with time. I think eventually when you win, they'll probably even mail you a big official Toastmasters, metal on wood plaque that states you won contest or whatever.
Oh, one of those like old school bronze sort of things.
Yeah, because it's that kind of organization, you know what I mean? And the bigger, the higher up you go, the bigger the crowd, the bigger the reach is for folks. And I'm a pretty decent speaker, so if I can garner some paid speaking gigs from this type of stuff, that's kind of my dreams, hopes and dreams of what I'm working towards. I've been made an executive. I'm going to be made an executive member of the club here. They invited me to. There have been some kerfluffle in the executive club, the executive admin of this club, and so they've invited me to become a part of that. So that'll be interesting as that develops. I'll talk a little bit about that here. If you want some Toastmasters drama, I can provide that in a little bit as well. Depending, we'll see what we talk about. Again, I may change the names to protect the guilty. But yeah, we got some stuff to talk about. But man, have a safe trip. Enjoy Vegas. Tell everybody in Vegas I said hi.
I will definitely run into some folks that you know.
You sure as hell will. And have a blast. I will do the same here in Mexico. I got some big things coming up. So listeners, stay tuned. Enjoy. Check us out at all the things. And in the meantime, safe travels.
Safe travels.